Okay, Ed, how do I get started? How do I get started in the pool business? Right? So this is the tricky part. This is the part where you got to make that jump. And that's what we're here for. That's what the community is here for. We want to help you make that jump and we want everybody to be successful at this. Some of the most important elements are just right when you're getting started, you want to think about a few things. So we're taking a minute here just to kind of go over this list with you and just brainstorm with you and help you understand how we came to our name, our different ideas and how we organize things. And don't let this be a 5 year process of picking a name and picking a brand and this and that. Just get started. That's the most important thing, right? You wanna get started. You wanna get moving, and you can always tweak things later. You can always change a brand, change a logo. Things can be modified. Things can be changed. Um, so don't worry about it too much. But let's kind of look at some of the branding here. So a lot of the pool business names, pool service business names, a lot of them are going to be taken in terms of like your generic stuff, like um, tropical tropical wave or like pool service pros or anything super, super duper basic is probably going to be taken. But you want to make it a little bit custom tailored to you. Maybe it's your area. Maybe it's more like your style. Maybe it's more something along the lines of like your favorite color and animals. So like some of them have like pink flamingo pools or blue marlin pools or presidential pools. So there's a lot of the big names out there, but just kind of tailor it to something that's interesting to you, that is simple, is easy to understand, gets the point across, and can be memorable, but doesn't isn't too hard to say. You don't want some long name because remember, every time you answer the phone, you're going to be like XYZ pool service, right? So you don't want to have something that's too long, too complicated, can't spell. If you can't spell the name or if you have trouble spelling the name, they're not going to remember it either. They're not going to be able to write it down either. So one thing to consider about naming and how things look is it's just not just the when you hear it, it's also when you type it. So how does it look printed on a screen in a Google listing? How does that name look on a business card? Just visualize a few of these small details. Again, don't let this process take forever. It's not meant to, you know, be an end all be all process. You want this to, you know, look good, sound good, and be appealing, but it's not going to bring in the customers. You're not Coca-Cola, you're not McDonald's, not yet, but the process that brings in the customer is going to be our digital, our systems, our processes, the knowledge. That's what's going to really like keep the customers um, happy and bring them in terms of the digital marketing. Your name in the beginning is not going to be known. So we got to get your name out there, right? You just got to pick something memorable, easy, cool, fun, whatever the case may be. So I just want to keep that in mind. A couple of the easy ways we would do things. Um, we would do, we would pick a genre. So let's say our previous company was Pool Waves Pool Care, right? So it was waves, water, cool, summer. So it was something along those lines where we wanted to have things. Just think about water and summer and things like that. We would take a name, an idea, and so for example, some cheat codes here. You could put it in Chat GPT, right? You could put it in Google. Synonyms. You could type in synonyms for summer, synonyms for water, synonyms for uh, the color blue, right? So, and then Google might say blue, azul, AZUL, and then instead of it's water, it's aqua, aqua azul, and then just blue water. And so you can come up with interesting names with using these little tips with Google, with different software out there to kind of help you get creative. So you can use those to get creative. Um, on the brand side, you can do similar things. You can use similar programs. You can use Canva. to create the logo, very easy to make. Canva, canva.com is one of the ones we use. They have a pro version where you pay like 10 bucks a month and you can kind of use all these different logos and icons and little things. So Canva's cool. There's tons of other ones out there that help with logos and things like that. That's just one where you can kind of customize it yourself. So once you have some kind of a name, you can pick a font style. There's different fonts on there. You can pick some logos and you can make yourself a basic icon, business card, things like that. So don't be too concerned with the logo itself. We can help with that. Our digital marketing company agency, Pool Profit, so we can actually help with the logo design. And if that's something that you need help with, so we can definitely do that for you. The most important thing is that you pick a brand name that's available. Your .com is available. So when you're picking a name, go into one of the .com search engines like GoDaddy or any of the other ones and just test it. So just go into GoDaddy, it's free, and just type in the name you think. So let's say Happy Dolphin. You want to be Happy Dolphin Pools. Just type it into GoDaddy, make sure the .com is available, right? If it is and you like it, buy it, set up a free GoDaddy account or whatever service you choose and buy that .com. Okay. Um, Also, before you finalize anything, pick a few of them, make sure they're available. Also look at other digital assets to make sure that name is available. So I try to do Instagram search, just go into Instagram and put in Happy Dolphin Pools. See if that name is taken. It's nice that if it's not, you can grab that name on Instagram, you can grab that name on Facebook. So type in Happy Dolphin Pools on Facebook and see if that's available on Facebook. The other thing I do, and it's all of this is in this course that we have on Pool Millionaire, link in the descriptions. And if you're already on here reading this, it's all in there. What I also do is I like to search the US trademark office, like patent office. There's a searchable database where you can type in Happy Dolphin Pools and see if that basic trademark has been reserved. And I'd like to make sure it's available there as well, just in case if you want to like trademark the actual name. So that's a great way. So these are just ways to accumulate these digital assets, right? So it's the .com, it's the Instagram handle, it's the Facebook handle. Just check it on the trademark database. You can check it on other social media platforms that you plan on using. So if you want to use TikTok or whatever the case may be, just make sure that name is available. It's hard to do. A lot of times they're taken. Let's say somebody's Happy Dolphin Pools in Florida, but you're Happy Dolphin Pool in California. Maybe they don't have the .com exactly the same, but maybe they took the Instagram name. So there may be some overlap like that. There are names that occasionally, you know, uh, people take. There's millions of businesses out there. There's tens of thousands of pool companies between builders and service and retail and stores and so on and so forth. So you may have overlap there. Don't worry. Don't worry. Again, the customer service you provide, the value you provide, your knowledge, those are all going to help you keep your customers and get new ones as much or more than just a name, right? So between our marketing, bringing the customers in the door, and your fulfillment capabilities and how happy and how good of a job you do, that's what's going to get this together. The name is got to be nice, but in the beginning, it doesn't have that brand power yet. Yet we'll work on that with you, and over time, you will get recognized, and that brand will matter. Brand is important. I'm not saying it's not important. It's very important, but don't stress about it in the beginning stages. Day one, don't let that prevent you from starting. Start. The most important thing is to start. That's the most important thing. I know so many talented people who have just great ideas, but they just don't start. And I think that's shame. I think that is holding them back. And they have tons of talent. They could do almost anything they set their minds to. They just don't start. And I see that a lot, especially with our generation. I think sometimes we have it too easy. Sometimes it's, you know, you get demotivated. I think one of the biggest things is distraction. We get distracted easily. And that's probably we're on our phones a lot. We got consume a lot of content. And there's a million things coming at us at once. Oh, do this, do that. But I think we get lost. And one of the great things about Pool Millionaire and Pool Profits and this course and these ideas and steps in this knowledge base is it will help you get started. I've put this course together where you can take it step by step, A to Z, on how to get started. And these are some of the most important things here. So, branding, pick the branding. Make sure it's registered. The second step is once you know that it's a great name, you're happy with the name. So we're taking Happy Dolphin Pools as the idea example. I don't know if that exists out there or not. If you do, if you're out there, Happy Dolphin Pools, thank you for being our example. But just an example. So you take Happy Dolphin Pools, and let's say you're in Texas, and next step is you've got the .com, you've got the Instagram handle. You can, we can set you up an email, or if you go into Google AdWords, or no, excuse me, not AdWords. If you go into create a Google admin and you can start, open up your own Gmail with a business account, or we can do that for you. Like I said, if you want to get started, we can set all this up for you. This part, not your LLC or anything else like that, just like with the email, for example, depending on which package you go with and things like that. But once you're set up, you want to get your LLC or sole proprietor or S corp, whatever the case may be that makes sense for your legal entity to become a business, right? So in most places, in most states, and again, this is something maybe you want to talk to a tax professional or whoever it is that can help you with that. But in most cases, a simple LLC will do. Some people just practice as a sole proprietor and or as just with their social security number or whatever the case may be. Not recommend that, but talk to a tax pro, whoever it is that can help you with that. But set up some kind of a legal entity, and this is important because you're going to want to get your employer ID number, your EIN. You're going to want to get business bank accounts. You're going to want to get so some of these additional things that make functioning the business easier and segregated and straight and uh, organized, right? So you want to keep your personal expenses and your business expenses segregated and separate. Is you know what I mean? So you want to keep those separate. You want to keep everything organized, and that's kind of the point of this is to be able to open up the business bank account. You have to have some of these elements. Very simple, very straightforward. So you set up your accounts. You set up your .com, your brand name. You set up your contact info. So that would be, whether it's a secondary phone number. A lot of people don't want to put their phone number out there. So what we do is our systems and our platforms can generate a phone number for, let's say, auto texting back and things like that. Uh, if you'd like to just have a general second line, you could do either Grasshopper, you could do Google Voice, you could do other methods. One great method that we recently, this I personally like, is if you call your phone provider, if you're going to be local, you have a secondary phone number chip on your phone. So, for example, with Verizon, I was able to set up a business phone number and they both come to the same phone. So if someone calls the business line, it rings on my phone. If someone calls the personal line, it rings on my phone. It's the same thing. So that's the great thing about that. You just need a secondary phone number. Like I said, we can set that up as well, depending on what package you get and how you want to set up your business. So website, email, phone number, the virtual office is a great thing. So for an address, business address. So this is something interesting that a lot of people get caught up in is the address. Sometimes people use their home address for their, setup. I wouldn't really recommend that. You can if you want to. Well, there's some great setups for virtual offices. Virtual offices are essentially companies like Regis, Premier, uh, there's lots of little ones that regionally. So what they are is a physical or real place with a front desk, a reception area, somebody there, and these are places where you can get essentially a mailbox or a locker or a folder, and they offer different packages of service as well. Sometimes you can even have them answer the phone for you, like your business line directed there, various packages. But essentially, you want an address that you can use for your business. And these virtual offices offer that without actually renting a physical office. So that's kind of a nice way to get organized with an office location. You want to use that for a few different things. So all of your legal docs, you can use that. So all of a sudden you'll have an office, right? You'll have a separate place from your home that you can use on these publicly visible things, right? So when you register a business, it's typically publicly visible depending on where you are. So that's a nice thing to do is a virtual office. If you have the funds and you want to just get a small office somewhere, great, do that. Or a warehouse, small warehouse that's like a flex space. You could do that. Look for that in your area. So it just depends on your budget, what do you want to spend, but not necessary to really get a big office or a big flex space or a warehouse in the beginning, especially if you're just starting out as an owner operator. If you're starting this as a at a big scale and you really want to do this big, you're going to have a team of 5 within the next 6 months. That's a different story, right? You're going to have you need somewhere to put a lot of chemical, a lot of product, tools, things like that. So you want to make sure all that's in check. Business bank account, like I said before, once you get your incorporation docs or whatever your business docs end up being, you can get a business bank account. Insurance. So there are two types of insurance that are important in this business. So one is your obviously your car insurance, right? And some people end up doing um, commercial auto insurance. Some people don't. That's up to you, however you want to set it up. Talk to your insurance professional. The other insurance that is good to have is general liability. This is kind of the type of insurance that covers you on the job as a solo operator. So if you're over there, or if you have employees too, there may be general liability may kick in. So it just essentially liability in the line of work. So if you break something and you have to pay for it, you could make a claim, something along those lines. Again, talk to an insurance professional about the insurance side specifically if you need general liability, workers' comp, commercial auto. So you're gonna have a few of these things. So just talk to your pros, talk to your licensed professionals. They'll guide you through it and get the good setup for you. On the general liability, the Next was a good provider. They were pretty affordable. Geico has good programs. They were pretty good to work with, pretty easy to set up. We like Next, we like Geico. There were, there's lots of companies that provide it, but they were just some of the easier ones. I think Lemonade might be a digital company that offers insurance. You can check that out. So a few of those. And the last thing I want to touch on before you really touch a pool start is something called a CPO certification. So this is Certified Pool Operator. Again, not a must, but great knowledge, right? So if you can consume knowledge and really become a pro through knowledge, just through reading and looking in courses and things, this is a great one to do because a certified pool operator course can be done in a couple of days online even. And what this does is it prepares you to understand how the pools function, how the chemicals work, and what some general safety rules are. Uh, if you do have that CPO certification, a lot of times you'll be able to do an apartment swimming pool, which is considered commercial, um, depending because those have inspections and blah blah blah. But anyway, CPO certification, CPO, Certified Pool Operator. If you type that in, course is usually around like 350 bucks, and it's a good one to have. Some states require it, some states don't. Most states, I believe, and this is just my speculation here from what I've seen, most states don't have a specific license type for cleaning pools. Check with your individual state and local governing body, like your county or your state, whoever um, decides that. But I can give you an example. So in Los Angeles County, the county itself has a test or certification of some kind, and then further south, Orange County doesn't seem to. So each county might be a little different, but in most cases, I believe cleaning pools doesn't require a major professional license like HVAC and the trades do. Speaking more generally, again, check with your specific local government, local area, but for the most part, it is not really a hard license, other than maybe a certification or a test or something, which is great because it allows you to learn on the job and get in the game quickly. You don't have to have some 2 year, 4 year journeyman experience. You can get in this, set up your ads, learn how to do the business, learn how to do the work, and start. It's really that easy. And that's why I wanted to make this specific video is I want you to do the steps. This is how you kind of run through the starting process. But don't be hesitant, don't be scared. You can do this. The steps are very straightforward. It's not some major license typically, right? So you can do this and you can set up a business where you have hundreds of pools per week. We know lots of operators that are doing well over 1,000 pools per week with a great team, great staff, 1,000, 2,000 pools per week. It's very possible in this business. And depending on where area you're in, Southern California, Florida, Texas, some of these huge markets, Arizona, Nevada, there's some big markets out there with thousands and thousands of pools. Um, and you can really make tons of money and provide a great service to the community because a lot of these guys don't work well. A lot of the guys doing it now don't do a great job. They skip steps, they get tired, if you can be an ultra pro and do it right, put the systems in place, charge the right price for that great service, you know, the customers will pay. They will be happy that you're charging them, but you're doing a great job. You know, I hear it all the time from our clients. Oh, my last guy doesn't, he's just in and out in 2 minutes. He's always missing spots or he doesn't check the equipment. I had a leak last time. He missed it. He's late. Sometimes he doesn't show up. Half the time he doesn't answer my call. Guys, this is an easy industry to break into right now. It's not going to be forever. There's a lot of pros coming in this industry, but you can be one of them. You really can. So keep reading the content, make the next steps count, go through with it, do it. You can do this. We got your back, and together we'll get you going and get you to the next steps. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. This is Ed with Pool Profits and Pool Millionaire. Really appreciate you and see you soon.